Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Macro Outlook and a little bit of technical analysis. My name's Chris Tubby. I'm founder of Trading for Tomorrow, and I do this just to try and help you guys sort of understand what's going on around the world, and of course I analyse a few of the contracts that I trade on a daily basis. So let's get going. Okay, so as usual, let's look at what's going on around the world. First of all, non-farm payroll data on Friday continues to support my view that the US economy is weakening. You know, that unemployment number is creeping up bit by bit. It's now 4.1%, and I expect this to carry on increasing. Oil's higher, however, you know, given current data, although inflation needs to drop a little more, I do see room for a 50 basis point cut in September. You know, although, you know, most are going to be expecting a 25 basis point. I just think, you know, it's just my view, remember that, but I just think that they might start bigger. And of course, you know, we've still got more data sets to come out before then, so, you know, let's wait and see if they back that up. So it's coming to a make or break, really, whether Biden is going to remain the Democrat nominee. You know, he obviously insists he's fine, but many business leaders want him gone. Trump, on the other hand, will probably like him to stay. Now, Trump wants another TV debate with him. You know, I wonder why. And of course, Trump's also gained a get out of jail free card in the courts. And although that's going to work sort of for him, later on, if he does become president again, it could work against him because he wants to try and prosecute Biden. And of course, you know, that's what he suggested in the past, but that may not be so easy if it's impossible to sort of do anything in the courts with him because obviously a past president, and that's something that Biden would become. So I'm going to stay with politics for the moment and then go back to the markets. So where I am in the UK, Labour recorded a landslide victory. Although, you know, really, to be honest, I believe this is as much to punish the Tories who remain the opposition, although with the lowest level of seats ever, they've only got 121 seats. And I think this was just really voters venting their anger at the backstabbing Tory party. You know, that they've forced unelected leaders onto the country. And to be honest, their performance has just been downright pathetic as a party since Brexit 8 years ago. But only time's going to tell if Labour will do any better given their massive majority. And sticking with elections, France obviously is voting on their second and final round of their elections after Macron made the same mistake as Sunak in calling a snap election, with the latter now standing down as leader of the Conservatives. Now, Macron has vowed to remain, but of course this may depend on if Le Pen manages an overall majority, and if so, how big. Which, you know, it's been a bigger challenge though because other parties have sort of strategically been withdrawing candidates to try and remove the chance of her getting that majority. It may take until Tuesday to get the final outcome. I'm not sure because it's French, so I have no idea. Sticking geopolitically, so just as Israel and Hamas may be close to a ceasefire, the Israel-Hezbollah looks ready to become an all-out war. And that's, of course, despite both sides stating recently that they wanted to try and avoid it. So Israel moving many of their troops to the Lebanese border. So again, it's just one of those wait and see, isn't it? There's nothing we can do to control that. 2 oil depots were hit in Russia by Ukraine drones. Anyway, let's get back to the markets. So global stocks hit another record high. And just remember, we are now starting to see companies reporting Q2 earnings. Some banks and others are out this week. So again, could that weaken them? Now, the dollar weakened a bit towards the end of the week, especially with expectations that those rate cuts are coming. And we could see possibly 75 basis points before the end of the year. The EU seems to be stabilising rather than growing. And we've still got sort of a mix between sort of ECB members on when the next rate cut will come. Sticking with the EU, I mean, retail sales only came in up 0.1% month on month. Moving on to China. So China PBOC has done a deal with the banks to borrow bonds. Now, this is going to give it hundreds of billions of yuan in government bonds at its disposal. And of course, on that news, bonds fell in China. Now, Nvidia may be hitting a peak, having soared 154% this year. And of course, you've got to remember last year the rally was almost 240%. How crazy is that? But it does look as though we're starting to see a little bit of action from the portfolio manager sort of rebalancing and maybe moving into other sectors or even other AI stocks. You know, the index was up almost 1%, I think it was, but Nvidia was down almost 2%, which, you know, when you see how big it's been on the upside, it's very small, really. So, what to look forward to this week? So, of course, we've got those French election results, and, you know, Macron says he'll stay, but can he? We'll have to wait and see, and obviously, you know, that's going to have a big impact on French economy, French bonds. You know, I mean, look at what's been happening with them recently. Also, longer term, if Le Pen gets in, maybe even, you know, a lot of companies were being attracted to Paris by Macron. That may all get undone very, very quickly. Now, towards the end of the week in the US, we're going to see the inflation data, CPI and PPI, and there's also Michigan sentiment coming out, so I've just picked those out. Then there's going to be an OPEC monthly report as well. Then in the UK, we've got retail sales, GDP. Japan and China will release inflation data. And there's going to be plenty of central bank speakers all round. And also the rate statement from the Royal Bank of New Zealand. So that pretty much sums up my macro. Stay with me, there's another couple of slides and then I'm going to move on and do some analysis on some of the products that I trade. Now, I just want to sort of just talk a little bit here about my services that I offer. So there's a daily newsletter that includes global news, headlines, my views, full articles. That is a subscription service. There's one-day workshops. You know, this will help you to discover if trading could be your next career or even just a second income. Otherwise, you know, maybe you're already trading, but you know, there's a few gaps that you'd like to fill in, and I can help you with that because that will accelerate your trading and your performance. And then there's a 1 week intensive course. You know, that's going to make you feel competent and confident after just 1 week. It's going to give you those foundations that you need to build your trading career on. And, you know, if you've got that in a trader, we'll find it. And now that does also include a free trading challenge. Then I do a Flexi Masterclass, which includes 6 weeks of guided learning. They can be split up, you know, you don't have to take them all at once. And this is designed to provide you with all the knowledge and trading tools that you're going to need to navigate any market and also on any asset class. You know, I trade them all. And as I say, you know, you can spread those weeks out over months if you need to. It's no problem for me. And again, that does include a free trading challenge. Now, trader mentoring, I'm doing more and more of this. And, you know, this is to help you reach that next level time and again. And, you know, I'm doing much more in the way of one-on-one sessions right across everything that I'm doing now, rather than sort of looking for big groups. I do provide a lot of trader educational content to individuals, exchanges and brokers. And as you know, as I mentioned earlier about the trading challenges, you know, if you're looking for a funded trading account, then you know you can contact me for details just about the ones that I use, or you know you can sort of take one of the courses where I'll give it to you for free at the end of it. Okay, so then moving on to our disclaimer, just to make you aware that trading does involve the potential risk of loss of capital and is not suitable for everyone, although hopefully it is for you. And many companies provide leverage, so just be aware that you can lose substantially more than that initial investment. Everything I include in here is just purely for educational purposes. I'm not trying to encourage you to trade or invest. That must be your decision. And of course, you know, before you make that decision, you've got to consider the risks involved, definitely your financial situation, your level of experience, and your risk appetite. And of course, it's important that you only risk capital that you're prepared, but also that you can afford to lose. And if you've got any doubts whatsoever, seek independent financial advice and do that before you risk your capital. So many people come and find me after they lost money, which is sad. You know, they should come to me before. And yeah, so listen, that's it for part one. I hope to see you in part two, where I'm going to do some technical analysis.